Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Eating Out Part 10. As it relates to Heiter Michira, we discussed in Part 9 also the Halacha of Heiter Michira. We said that there might be two possible avenues of Heter for those who do not eat Heiter Michira, to possibly eat, but one who does serve Heiter Michira. One, you may have the fake of Rabbi, that the one suffix whether they're serving Heiter Michira or not, and two, even if they do, maybe it's mutter, even though this person is machmir not to eat it. That's one possible approach. And the other one is, we mentioned that someone who is machmir on a certain halacha, he doesn't look at it as aser mikar adin, so it could be at times he'd be able to be makel to eat it someone who does not hold that way, who is makel. And we discussed in the note of Yehuda that if you're machmir, then a one-time suspension of the chumrah may be mutar. Okay, but by Heiter Michira, if you hold it's absolutely aser, then there's no room to play around here. There's no two sfeikos, it's aser. That's from Kanievski. I want to just elaborate on that. It sounds like a serious psak, and it's a kedai to hear Rabbi Kanievski directly in Derech Emunah. He writes the following in Shmitah v'Yovel, Perek Dalid, in Derech Emunah. Halacha Reish Yud Gimel, Sif Katan Reish Yud Gimel. Ota Mochanet Kol Eretz Yisrael Legoy Eino Klum. So those who sell the whole Eretz Yisrael to a goy is nothing. Ve'eino Inyan Mechir Chametz Mikamatim. Do not compare this to Mechir Chametz in any way. He says, Shnichmar Dei Shliach Inshal Dvar Veira, because they're selling it by a shliach, and Inshal Dvar Veira, you cannot appoint a shliach to sell Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael it's an issue of lo tachaneim to sell Eretz Yisrael. And therefore, you want to use a shliach to sell Eretz Yisrael. So you ask him to do a ma'isa iser. So the whole kinyan is not chal. 2, lo nimsla betabo. Im haya goy tvel Chaim amekach hayu omrim lo kachtin chem teblo v'shimat tabo lo kanad. You don't have a tab. It's not registered officially, and therefore there's nothing to talk about. It's not a real sale. 3, minesha b'lev kol adam she'eno kinyan be'emet. It's not a real kinyan. You don't have a lave heart to do this kinyan in a proper way, as opposed to mechiras chametz. You have a full gemira dad by chametz to sell it. Rather, you don't have in mind to sell it. What you should have in mind is simply to keep Shmitah properly and not sell the land to the guy. The only thing he does say is that those who sell it directly to the guy, not through a shliach, at least their fruits per b'diavad will not become asor. Okay, so he is quite harif, Rav Kanievski, basically saying that for 3 reasons it's not comparable to selling chametz, and you have pointing a shliach to do an avera, lo tachaneim. You don't have in mind, it's not tabu, and therefore it is nothing. The only thing he says, if a farmer sells it directly to a guy, yes, he's doing an isser. He's violating the isser of lo tachanim, selling the land to a guy. That's also, but at least the kinyan is chal, because you're not using a shliach. So you don't have the problem of ein shliach l'vavera, that it's not chal. Just to show how harif he is, a few chapters later, in Ziyun Halacha, in the beginning of Perek Chet, right, those who rely on Heiter Michira, you cannot go ahead and sell to them. And if you use their kale, if they use your kli, they borrow your pot, then they cook Heiter Michira in it, it is asor, and that's it. So the pot has to be kashrut. That is the Derech Emunah. We'll elaborate on this in the next year, just to have a little bit of understanding of Rav Kanievski and how to relate to this psak. Shalom.